Hi, I'm Jennifer Newell, and I am working to build Betty's, a women's healthcare company that caters uniquely to younger women. If this is the first of my videos that you're watching, please go check out my YouTube channel, Building Betty's, to get caught up on what I'm doing. But today I want to tell you about the name Betty's and why I chose it. It's a question that comes up in nearly every conversation that I have when I'm talking about the business, so I wanted to share it with you all too. Betty's has more than one meaning for the business, but the main reason that I chose it is because it is the name of my grandmother and my husband's grandmother. We were both extremely close to both of our Bettys, and at one point in our lives, we each lived with our grandmothers. So being able to build something meaningful for our grandmothers that bears their name just brings a deeper sense of meaning and purpose to the business. And I wanted something that would reflect them and their personality and their roles in our lives. While the name is purposefully personal, there are other criteria that the name meets that I wanted to make sure we had as I decided on what we were going to name the business. The first piece is that it's non-clinical. I didn't want a name that had clinic or healthcare in that title. Now, I have a marketing background, and as I was thinking through that, I kept hearing my inner marketer screaming, you have to tell people what you do. Your name should reflect what your business actually does to your customer, for your customer. I really put a lot of thought into whether or not I wanted to have that sentiment, and I wanted to keep that as part of the business. But ultimately, I decided that because of the nature of women's healthcare, not all preconceived notions are positive. And so I didn't want to have something clinical in the name because I didn't want women to kind of revert back to that way of thinking and maybe think that it wouldn't be a positive experience. I want something fresh and new for them, and I wanted a name that would reflect that. So I actually picked a name that was more reflective of a fashion boutique because that is the kind of experience we want to cultivate with Betty's. I'll get into more of that a little bit later as I talk about other aspects of the business aside from the clinical services. But just know that Betty's has, I want that experience of a fashion boutique where women are comfortable walking in, to those stores day in and day out. I want them to feel comfortable coming into Betty's and know that because of the name, they feel immediately welcome and that it's a place specifically for them. I also wanted a name that could be easily branded, that was short, catchy, and meaningful. Betty is typically a slang term that is used most often in reference to a woman who is attractive, but it can also be used to describe a woman who is kind or a woman who is self-confident. If you don't believe me, go check Urban Dictionary. But I also want to add well-adjusted, healthy, strong to those lists of descriptors for women that can be described by a Betty, by calling her a Betty. And I would really like to have that reflected in my brand for Betty's. So that's it. That's the Betty's name and where it came from. Later this week, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I evaluated the San Antonio market and what that looks like today for young women for our target demographic. And soon I'm going to do a video on 2019 and how that was the year that almost blew up my plans for Betty's. So stay tuned for that. Please subscribe so that you don't miss out on those videos. And as always, thank you for watching.